investigation around the assassination of oppositional journalist Jamal Khashoggi in the Saudi embassy in Turkey reveals that the Western officials are stuck in the hypocrisy in the sphere of human rights. Washington is hesitant to punish the Saudis although their guilt is evident. Social medias have already been filled with ironical statements like "these sons of a bitch are the right sons of a bitch." And that's quite understandable, since Saudi Arabia is the largest buyer of the US arms and oil lender, as well as a leading investor of the United States and European Union.
Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money!
Despite a considerable international attention, the US President Donald Trump was assuring that America was not going to cover for the Saudis, and right away he amused by his cynical thanks to them for another fall in oil prices.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Meanwhile, the information available through the internet reveals that the body of Jamal Khashoggi was disposed just like in the plot of the Tarantino's Pulp Fiction.
Okay, first thing, you two. Take the body, stick it in the trunk. Now, Jimmy, this looks to be a pretty domesticated house. That would lead me to believe that in the garage you're under the sink, you got a bunch of cleaners and cleansers and shit like that?
Yeah, Mr. Wolf, under the sink.
Good.
At the same time, the US State Department official states that the death of the Khashoggi was highly likely a result of incorrect interrogation.
Ruby.
Sorry.
It turns out that the Saudis are being examined just out in the open. In case of Russia and alleged poisoning of the Skripals, Great Britain and the United States expelled Russian diplomats and imposed sanctions immediately. The famous highly likely was enough.
Excellent.
Trump thinks that the Khashoggi's murder is really bad, but it's ridiculous that people are making so much of the Saudi murder of one man, given the brutal practices of countries like China. The White House is not excited about punishing Saudis in any manner, and the US President has explained why it is happening. He believes that $110 billion which the Saudis are going to spend for buying American arms can be taken by Russia or China. The Saudis themselves stated that they are prepared for possible sanctions and they are going to shock the entire world with the circumstances. One of the measures is $200 per barrel. It turns out that the United States are full of double standards, who are apt to see no atrocities when it is expedient, but also to interpret the meaning of honor and dignity depending on capitalization of a situation.
Oh dear, well they say a man who has to buy a big car like that's trying to compensate for smaller genitals, is he?